The iron gates close behind her without a sound, sealing off the road she came from. The estate stands too still, too quiet, like it's holding its breath. This job already feels like a mistake. She steps inside and removes her shoes instinctively, sensing something fragile about the place. The air smells old, polished, preserved. It feels less like a home and more like a display frozen in time. A sound breaks the silence, footsteps that don't echo the way hers do. She turns, startled, already rehearsing an apology. Someone has been watching her arrival. A man appears with an easy smile, carrying a crate like he belongs here. He speaks casually, as if this place doesn't unsettle him at all. That somehow makes it worse. He offers a brief tour, pointing out rooms that feel untouched for years. Every door opens smoothly, like it's rehearsed this moment. Nothing here feels spontaneous or alive. An elderly woman enters without announcement, her gaze sharp and measuring. She notices details instantly, especially what's missing. Her eyes linger on the floor where shoes should be. The shoes are gone. No sound. No explanation. The woman dismisses it calmly, blaming the house itself. She says the house has habits. Introductions feel formal, rehearsed, like lines read too many times. The elderly woman smiles, but it never reaches her eyes. She gestures upstairs with careful precision. She's led to a small room prepared like a shrine, not a bedroom. Everything is perfect. Too perfect. Then she sees who she's here to care for. It's not a child. It's a porcelain figure seated neatly, eyes fixed forward. The joke should land here, but no one laughs. They explain the rules without blinking. Feeding times. Music volume. Cleanliness. Eye contact discouraged. Every rule feels designed for something listening nearby. She laughs nervously, waiting for someone to break character. No one does. The silence stretches until her smile fades on its own. They leave her alone with the figure, asking her to step outside briefly. The door closes softly behind them. She doesn't remember it opening. Minutes pass. Nothing moves. She exhales, embarrassed by her nerves. Then she realizes the room feels occupied in a way she can't explain. When the couple returns, they nod with satisfaction. The figure approved of her. She doesn't ask how they know. That night, the estate settles into an unnatural stillness. She lies awake, counting unfamiliar sounds, unsure which ones belong to the house and which don't. A soft thump echoes somewhere above the ceiling. Then another. The house isn't quiet anymore, it's pacing. She checks the small room again. Everything looks identical. Except the figure's head seems angled slightly differently than before. She tells herself memory plays tricks in unfamiliar places. Still, she straightens the head carefully, avoiding eye contact like she was instructed. Water drips from the ceiling hours later, landing beside the bed. There's no storm. No broken pipe. Just moisture seeping downward. The next morning, the delivery man returns, unfazed by her questions. He says the family has lived here a long time. Long enough to stop asking questions. He mentions the estate had a tragedy once. Details are fuzzy. Stories change depending on who tells them. That's never a good sign. That evening, she skips a rule deliberately, testing the silence. Nothing happens. The confidence feels premature. A noise answers her defiance, a scrape from behind the walls. It travels, slow and deliberate, like something repositioning itself. Her phone rings late that night. The line connects, but no one speaks. Breathing fills the silence instead. She hangs up shaking, suddenly aware of how far she is from anyone else. The estate feels larger after midnight. In the small room, she finds the figure turned slightly toward the door. This time, she's certain it wasn't like that before. A chill runs through her as she backs away. The rules replay in her mind, no longer sounding ceremonial. They sound practical. She locks her bedroom door for the first time. The handle rattles once an hour later. Then stops. By morning, her confidence is gone. The job no longer feels strange. It feels intentional. She considers leaving, but the gates feel impossibly far away. The house seems to watch her pack. A faint sound interrupts her, music playing softly where there should be none. It comes from inside the walls. She follows it instinctively, hand brushing wallpaper that feels warmer than it should. Something has been standing there. The music stops the moment she notices it. Silence slams back into place, heavier than before. She returns to the small room slowly, dread tightening her chest. The figure sits perfectly still. Waiting. A folded note rests beside it, written in careful handwriting. She doesn't remember placing it there. The note contains only 2 words. They are not threatening. That somehow makes them worse. Follow rules. The handwriting matches the list exactly. Her stomach drops as understanding begins to form. Behind her, something shifts inside the walls, closer than before. The house isn't empty. It never was. She realizes the job was never about care. It was about compliance. And something here is learning what she fears most. She forces herself to breathe slowly, refusing to run. Panic would only teach the house how to control her. Whatever lives here already knows she's scared. She obeys every rule that day with precision, almost ritualistic. Music plays louder than necessary, echoing through the walls like an offering. She obeys every rule that day with precision, almost ritualistic. Music plays louder than necessary, echoing through the walls like an offering. The estate responds with silence. No noises. No movement. Compliance seems to calm whatever is listening. That night, she wakes to the sound of breathing that isn't hers. It comes from inside the room, slow and deliberate. The sound stops the moment she opens her eyes. The figure remains seated, but the air feels disturbed, like someone just stepped away. Morning brings another visit from the delivery man. She asks direct questions now, abandoning politeness. His hesitation says more than his words. He admits there are stories locals don't like to repeat. Some call the estate cursed. Others say it protects something that should never leave. Before leaving, he glances at the walls instead of her. It hears better than people think, he warns quietly. Later, she discovers strands of her hair on the bathroom sink. She didn't cut it. No scissors are missing. Her clothes vanish one by one from the wardrobe. Jewelry follows. The house is collecting pieces of her. A sound lures her upward, soft, almost playful. The attic ladder lowers on its own, inviting her closer. She climbs despite every instinct screaming no. The ladder snaps shut behind her, plunging her into darkness. Something shifts inches from her face, breathing warm air across her skin. She faints before she can scream. She wakes on the floor below, the ladder open again. No explanation. No marks. Just the certainty she wasn't alone. She demands help from the delivery man the next day. He listens carefully now, no longer smiling. He reveals 2 versions of the past. One where the child was gentle. Another where something was deeply wrong long before tragedy struck. That night, her phone rings again. This time, a child's voice whispers a command. It knows the rules better than she does. A shadow appears beneath her bedroom door, pacing slowly. She doesn't open it. She knows that's what it wants. By morning, food sits neatly arranged outside her door. The message is clear: it can provide. It expects loyalty. Conflicted and exhausted, she complies again. The house rewards obedience with calm. That terrifies her more than the noise. Somewhere far away, the elderly couple writes a final letter. Their faces show relief, not regret. They address it directly, not as an object but as a presence. They say the caretaker belongs to it now. Days later, the delivery man returns with news that doesn't make sense. The couple is gone. Permanently. She realizes there was never a return date. She was always meant to stay. The figure moves when she isn't looking. She confirms it by leaving the room and listening. Something drags softly across the floor. She shows proof to the delivery man at last. He believes her now, and that makes escape feel urgent. That night, jealousy seeps through the walls. Loud knocks interrupt their conversation, demanding attention. The delivery man finally tells the full story. A disappearance. A body. A truth buried behind stone and fire. The presence isn't lonely. It's possessive. And it doesn't share. The house reacts violently to the revelation. Lights flicker. Walls vibrate. Something pounds from inside. A man from her past arrives unexpectedly, dragging old fear with him. The house grows eager. She begs the presence for help. The answer comes written in dark liquid across the walls. The man panics, smashing the porcelain figure in rage. The house screams in response. The walls crack open. Something steps out that was never meant to be seen. A man emerges wearing a porcelain mask, breathing hard, furious at being exposed. Violence erupts quickly and brutally. The house assists, sealing exits, guiding the predator. She and the delivery man run, discovering a hidden room filled with trophies made from her belongings. The truth hits her fully now. The rules were never superstition. They were survival guidelines. The masked figure corners them, offering a choice disguised as affection. Stay, or watch him suffer. She makes a decision that terrifies her more than death. She turns back toward the small room. She walks back into the small room with steady steps, forcing her fear behind discipline. The rules replay in her head like commands learned too late. This time, she follows them with intention. The house quiets immediately, sensing her shift in control. Silence presses down, thick and watchful, as if the walls are waiting for instructions. She straightens the bed, adjusts the chair, and places the broken porcelain pieces together gently. Every movement feels observed, judged for correctness. Footsteps sound inside the walls again, slower now, cautious. The presence doesn't understand her calm. That uncertainty gives her power. She reads aloud in a firm, even voice, letting the sound travel. The walls hum faintly in response, like something settling closer. Behind her, the delivery man lies unconscious, hidden from sight. She knows the presence will react if it senses competition again. A voice speaks from inside the walls, no longer whispering. It demands reassurance. It wants proof she won't leave. She answers carefully, choosing obedience over honesty. Her words are measured, designed to soothe rather than provoke. The walls creak as the masked figure moves closer, no longer hiding completely. Cracks widen, revealing dark gaps behind plaster. She places food neatly on the table, following the schedule exactly. The presence pauses, reassured by ritual. The porcelain mask appears in the doorway, watching silently. For the first time, she sees him fully, no illusion left. He steps closer, mimicking the stiff movements of the figure he pretended to be. The act is unsettling, practiced for years. She reminds him of the rules softly, like a caregiver calming a child. The words trigger hesitation instead of rage. The masked figure retreats a step, confused by her authority. The house groans, reacting to the shift in dominance. She orders him back to the bed, voice firm and unwavering. Control changes hands in a single moment. He obeys reluctantly, lowering himself into the familiar position. The house exhales as if relieved by structure. She leans in, pretending to comply with the final ritual. Her heart pounds, but her expression remains calm. At the last second, she strikes, using the only tool within reach. Surprise replaces control in his posture. The masked figure stumbles back, crashing into furniture. The house screams, lights flashing violently. She drags the delivery man toward the exit as walls crack further open. The estate resists, trying to keep it secret. A final roar echoes from behind them, furious and wounded. She doesn't look back. Plus. The front doors resist, then finally give way. Cold night air crashes into the suffocating stillness. They cross the threshold together, collapsing onto the gravel outside. The estate stands silent once more. Sirens echo faintly in the distance, though neither of them called. Someone else has finally noticed the house. As dawn approaches, the windows remain dark. No movement. No sound. Too quiet to trust. Authorities search the estate, uncovering hidden corridors and sealed rooms. The truth spills out piece by piece. They never find a body where it should be. Only broken walls and an empty bed. She leaves the estate behind, refusing interviews, refusing explanations. Survival is enough. Weeks later, she wakes suddenly, convinced she hears soft movement behind the walls of her new apartment. The sound fades quickly, leaving only silence and memory. She tells herself it's over. Far away, inside the abandoned estate, something stirs again. Broken porcelain lies neatly reassembled. The house hasn't learned restraint. It has learned patience. A faint breath moves through the walls once more, slow and deliberate. Waiting. The rules remain taped to the wall, unchanged. Someone will need them again. Outside, the gates rust quietly, ready to open for the next arrival. The estate waits without urgency. It always has. Some houses are not haunted. They are trained. And they never stop learning what fear sounds like. The last sound inside is a soft scrape behind the walls. Then silence again. Somewhere, a job listing quietly goes live. The house is ready. The listing looks harmless. Short-term caretaker. Remote estate. No experience required. Thousands scroll past it without stopping. One person doesn't. Miles away, someone reads the description twice, feeling an odd pull they can't explain. Curiosity beats caution every time. Back at the estate, the rules flutter slightly, disturbed by a draft from the walls. They've been waiting to be needed again. A soft hum travels through the corridors, not anger, not hunger, anticipation. The house recognizes the cycle restarting. The small room is cleaned again, reset perfectly. No sign of struggle. No sign of escape. The porcelain figure sits upright, flawless once more. Whatever repairs were needed have already been made. Deep inside the walls, a breath slows, steady and patient. There is no rush anymore. Far away, a car turns off the main road toward a familiar iron gate. The driver doesn't notice how quiet the world becomes. The gates open smoothly, as if expecting them. They always do. Inside the house, something shifts position, aligning itself with the new arrival's footsteps. Listening begins again. The rules wait, unchanged, knowing they will be tested. They always are. Somewhere, a delivery truck drives past without stopping this time. No one warns the newcomer. The estate doesn't mind. Silence is more effective than rumors. Inside the walls, space has already been cleared. The house remembers what to make room for. The first night will be quiet. It always is. Trust must be built before it's broken. Shoes will go missing. Small tests will begin. Nothing dramatic. Just enough to see how fear behaves. The house prefers curiosity to panic. Panic ends things too quickly. Somewhere inside, a mask waits to be worn again. It has always fit perfectly. The estate doesn't consider itself cruel. It considers itself careful. Care requires rules. Rules require someone to follow them. And someone always does. The walls settle, satisfied. Listening resumes at a slower pace. Nothing here is rushed. Not fear. Not control. Not patience. The house has learned that waiting always works. It survived fire, silence, and truth. It will survive another caretaker. Because the secret was never the figure. It was the walls. And the walls are still standing. Somewhere inside, something smiles behind porcelain. The job is open again.